won 5,000 on golfing days, worked at Morrison's, went to Q school, 3 stages, got his tour card, and then won £1 million the year after.
For my daughters to one day see something expanding golf for the ladies or any sport.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a great Tuesday, or if you're late to the podcast this week, a great day of the week. Whenever you're listening, maybe in the future. It's quite exciting, isn't it? Anyway, welcome to episode number 55 of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. And it's a really, really cool and exciting week this week because we've got the 2020 Pro Tour chaps on to talk about their tour ahead of their sort of 2026 schedule and at the end of their 2025 year. And it was really great to sit down with Adam and Chris. Both of them have done a lot in the golfing world themselves, whether that be an amateur career or a pro career when it comes to Chris. And what they wanted to do was create a tour that catered to both the male golfer and the female golfer. And our chat really sparked from the Hannah Holden episode. And Adam just wanted to get in touch, first of all, just to talk about what they're trying to do and what they've been trying to do for, 5 years, 6 years, going into now since COVID, of having a tour where male and female golfers can compete together on a level playing field to be able to showcase their skill and obviously forge a career. And I think it's a really honest discussion with them about the limitations that they have as a sustainable tour model, which they're trying to create, but also the difficulties they faced. And I think some of the things that Hannah brought up in her episode, they just wanted to clarify from their side of things as well as to where they stand, what they need from female golfers to be able to continually run the tour in the fashion that they want to, and to create equal opportunities on both fronts. I think we address it in the episode, but anything like this, when you've got essentially 3 guys sitting down and talking about how to make the female game work, the optics of it aren't great. And look, we recognise that, we understand it, but I don't come from a place of understanding. These guys do. They are literally trying to run a tour which caters to female golfers. Whatever my opinions may be don't really matter because I'm not experienced in it, but these guys are actually doing it. Hannah is a female golfer trying to compete. So all these viewpoints melded together, I think there's an answer in there somewhere. It would just be great if we could all get to a point, I say all get to a point like I'm included, that everyone who competes in that field and is trying to put on events in those fields could get to a point where they all can work together towards a positive goal of making things work. And I think conversations like this, conversations I've had with Hannah, they're all leading to a point where hopefully a solution can be there, where there can be a thriving tour in the UK for female golfers. That's what everyone wants. And hopefully we're a little bit closer to that thanks to the discussion that we have today. I hope you enjoy the episode. Like I said, Adam and Chris were great with their time. There's an exciting opportunity for us to head up to the match, which we talk about in great detail as well next year. So hopefully schedules can align for that. And maybe hopefully I get to meet some of you when I go to that event. But equally, I think it's just a really insightful and enjoyable chat. We discuss people like Marco Penge, who competed on 2020 Pro Tour with his wife Sophie. We talk about Dan Brown, success stories like that. And there's many other names that come up as well. So stay tuned for that. It's brilliant. So I hope you really enjoyed that discussion. In the world of golf, what's happened? We've actually had a golf tournament. We've had 3 golf tournaments, I think, this weekend. 2 on the DP World Tour, a bit strange, 2 flagship events happening on the same weekend, which is a bit odd. But nonetheless, great to see golf out there and working. And then obviously on the PGA Tour, we have the Hero Championship Hero. What's it called? Event, I don't know whatever it is. Tiger Woods hosts the Hero Championship, as he does, and Hideki Matsuyama won that one in a playoff against Sepp Straka, I believe, if I've got that all right. Names, I've done it, I think, but it was really cool to see golf back. Someone that we're very excited about having on the podcast in January, performed very well. That would be Mr. Justin Rose. That's right. If you're hearing it for the first time, Justin Rose is due to come on the podcast in January. We're just waiting for Justin to have a little break, his schedule, everything like that. In touch with his management team, and we will get that booked in for January once things quieten down just a touch for him. I know TGL starts, so the guy's a busy guy, but we're going to make it work. And I'm very excited to bring you that podcast in the new year. Talking of which, this is going to be the second to last episode of this year. Going to have a little break towards the end of December, a couple of weeks off, and we'll be back again in early January. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Next week, we're going to have Dennis. That's Bogey Golf on YouTube. Dennis runs a very, very funny and honest YouTube channel, and I just wanted to hear more about his story. So I'm actually recording that tonight. Looking forward to bringing you that next week. And maybe, if I get a chance, I'll release a little highlights of the year podcast, maybe, that we can look back on our first year all together as a Birdie Golf Club family. Anyway, I appreciate you all. If it is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that follow button, whatever you can do on whatever platform to help support the podcast. It really, really does help. Drop in the comments section. Let me know what you thought of the podcast, what your thoughts are on what we discuss and what the solutions can be when we get there. And yeah, please enjoy this week's episode with Adam and Chris from 2020 Pro Tour. Adam and Chris, it's great to have you on. Thank you very much for coming on. Would you like to explain a little bit about yourselves to the listeners, to me as well? Be always helpful. About a little bit about the 2020 Pro Tour. So I don't know if Chris, you're the first one on my screen, so I'm going to go to you first. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. So I guess me and Adam go back probably, 10 years maybe, 15 years or something maybe, just for amateur golf in the local area. You probably can't tell, but Adam's a little bit younger than me.
A lot.
My background was playing. I played on the DP World Tour for a few years. Adam ended up caddying for me for quite a few of those events near the back end of my playing career. And just we were playing the Spanish Open, which was my last event on the tour, and actually did it right. And I made the cut, but the whole week, me and Adam were discussing what could we do, and we'd always had. Adam and me have both played all the mini tours and all the different levels of golf up to sort of DP, and we just got chatting about this vision of running a golf tour in the UK and having an exclusive, a tour where anyone could play. And it just kind of, from a couple of evenings having dinner, writing in a notebook a load of ideas, to all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, launching this golf tour.
Amazing.
So we tried.
Amazing. So it was a collective.
Yeah, I'm going to say, just to touch on, we tried. We knew there were your tours around the time, like Europro was there, Jamaica Tour was there, 1836 Tour was there. So we decided to do something a little bit different and become the first mixed tour to allow ladies to play. Really good. Got some really good traction straight off the bat, didn't we? And something different. And obviously when we launched in 2020, probably the first tour straight back after COVID.
I'm cold, you're cold. Winter golf is very much here. So let's dream of a better place. Or even better than dream, let's go to a better place. If you use code Birdie Double Points at Golf Escapes, it will get you double escape points on your next trip. And you can book a trip, be away in the sunshine, enjoying the beautiful weather, the fantastic golf and beautiful amenities of some of their incredible hotels that they have listed. Golf Escapes will handle the whole thing. They'll set the entire package up and you can enjoy every single moment without a worry. I used Golf Escapes to book my trip to East Sussex National recently for just a brief break, and everything was handled perfectly, to my golfing for the weekend, to my wife enjoying a beautiful spa treatment whilst I was out on course. Peace of mind, just a fantastic experience and a great team over at Golf Escapes. Head over there now, use code Birdie Double Points to get yourself double escape points on your next trip.
Remember one of our first events at Cleckheaton, and we had just a ginormous field of unbelievable names from both the female and male game. So our starting to mini tour life was quite good, I think.
Absolutely. So that idea of combining the men's and the women's game, obviously something that's been spoken about quite a bit. Why was it key to you, and one of the fundamental things you wanted to do on the 2020 Pro Tour?
For me, at the time, Chris had three girls. I've now got 2 girls. So the dad in me, of course, my dream is for them to play on the LPGA Tour. And you do see that there is that gap. They've never really had much to play in. So yeah, we launched with the hope to promote the ladies' game just as much as the men's game. At the time, the PGA ran events, and there was a 10% a 10% equitable policy where the ladies teed off 10% in front of the men. So we sort of matched that year one. And then throughout the tour's history, we've adapted that and done our own research and pushed further forward to, we're pushing 20% at some events. And in events, it's proved to work. We've had, was it at Rockcliffe, Ellie Givens and Andrew Wilson tied up joint leaders. So we found we sort of thought we'd hit the nail on the head, and it's just not really come to fruition as well as we'd hoped.
It's gone through a lot of changes, though, hasn't it? Like last year, I played that mixed event in Jordan. So it was a challenge tour on the Ladies European Tour, the LET, I can't remember, and it was a mixed event. So it'd kind of been trialled a little bit. So we obviously thought there is some legs in this. We'll go with it. And I think over maybe the first 2 or 3 years, it tried, and we tried all sorts. We did the policy of, which has probably been stretched whenever possible. Some golf courses, obviously we don't always play tournament golf courses. Whenever possible, we've stretched that as much as we can towards 20% and had the mixed pot, so they all play for the same money and order of merit. But then from feedback from the ladies, we've then had years where we've tried it, where we've totally separated the men and ladies again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they asked for that. And we've had some events where we maybe had 6 play. And then we thought, well, it's obviously not going to work. We'll go back to the other policy. And then that's not worked. And we've gone back to mixed, then back to separate policies. And then it's got to the point now where we're not too sure what to do. But then we've been asked so many times to do separate pots. And we've done it and put events on. And just not had the turnout, really, have we?
So now in 2025, what's the state of the 2020 Pro Tour now? How does that set up in general for most events?
Shall I go? So for this year, we're kind of back to a year one policy. So the ladies and the guys can play together for the same prize fund, but there will be the policy where it will be stretched to 20% as much as possible, and they will play for the same pot. So we do know it works. I think I can tell you all the girls who have played under that policy and done well are excelling in the game. Like your Ellie Givens, your Gemma Clues, Billy Joe Smith, they've all won events or competed with the guys with this policy and gone on to get the card. Gemma's won the LET last year.
Charlotte Heath.
Billy's got a card as well, hasn't she? Like, they know if they play well and they stick at it and compete, and it's proven to work.
I think I'm more.
So there is.
I think I'm in the camp where, again, our schedule's not been released yet, and I don't think anything's set in stone. So I'm almost in the camp where if we get enough ladies approach us and sort of say, listen, we're going to commit to this, and the reason I got in touch with you in the first place was you hear people talk about the lack of opportunities in the ladies' game, and I sort of take that a little bit personal in a way, because I've tried in the past we've tried with the tour, and in the past I worked with a company where we're called Rocket Yard, and we launched a ladies pro series, had a full event at websites. I'd got Golf Genius. It cost me a few quid, and the traction was great, but we had one entry into our first event, and one member, so it flopped straight away. So I'm in a position where I feel like we're trying, and we would just love to see that support from the ladies who call for it and ask for it so much on socials, but I just don't feel that the drive is there to do it. I'm a bit lost with it at the moment.
I think the really tough thing is it wouldn't take a lot for it to snowball, because the biggest question you get in probably male and female golf is, what's the prize fund? Like, what we're playing for? And it's such, I get it, you don't want to enter an event if you're playing for 100 quid. But if it took one event or 2 events of 10 ladies playing, so if 10 of them, all friends, they all know each other, that event's on, let's go play it. 10 events, £200 entry fee. We're very fortunate now we get very good rates or gratis course fees at a lot of golf clubs. Like, we don't take from the pot, like, hardly anything. They would still play for decent money. And they would see that, and it's a low expense tour. And if that 10 snowball to 15, it doesn't take a lot to all of a sudden create a prize fund what's worth playing for us. Like Adam said, if we had a message off the back of this podcast saying, you know what, like, we will play the 2020 Pro Tour next year, there could be a ladies' order of merit, and there could be a ladies' pot again. So it's definitely not ruled out, is it?
Because I think, cards on the table, that was how Adam got in touch with me, as you mentioned, after the Hannah Holden episode, where she spoke passionately about a women's pro tour in the UK, and obviously, understandably, that touched a nerve.
Yeah, listen, I'll put
with you
I'll
guys.
put my hands up to it, and it's only because, and I'll speak on behalf of Chris, is that when you see it all over social media, and I've got a lot of respect for Hannah. I've known Hannah for years. She's been a member at my golf club, and what she's on YouTube is great. I'd love to see people touch on the positives, people trying to do stuff rather than that everything's against. Yeah, it touches a nerve, and that's why I did get in touch. And for someone like Hannah, who has an amazing following, a strong lady following, she could push it herself, and it could be a massive. Even if she did something off her own back, it would still be a massive tour and gain a lot of traction. And whether it's us, whether it's someone else, I'd like it for my daughters to one day see something expanding golf for the ladies or any sport.
Yeah, I saw you guys have a little back and forth on my Instagram. It's great for great for engagement. So always appreciate that. But I noticed that some of the points that were brought up were interesting in the fact of, where do you see, obviously, if this is available for the ladies in the areas where it's available for them to enter, what would be maybe, if you were looking at it from their point of view, what would be the barrier to entry? What's the reason why they're not? I'm guessing the men's side is getting filled up pretty quickly, the spots that are available. So why would they not want to, commit to the tour?
For me, I think I love what the Rose Ladies series have done. It's amazing for the ladies' game. I know it's compiled into like 2 or 3 weeks, quite short, snappy, isn't it? And great golf courses, huge prize fund. But for, I guess, your other development tours like ourselves, Clutch, even like the days of Europro, Jamaica, that what they're paying for and the amount of people that play, the total cost isn't anywhere near what the prize pot is. It's been heavily subsidised. We're not in that position to be able to subsidise it by 5-10 grand. It's just not feasible for us. So I think that maybe the ladies might be used to playing for these 10,000 first prizes where, the guys are playing for 1,500 quid, 2 grand an hour.
Yeah,
I think that's maybe off-putting for the ladies, but it doesn't stop the guys. And again, the simple answer is maybe location for us. We're north based out, we're kind of like, we're Yorkshire going down to maybe like Derbyshire, and across to Lancashire. So we're in that kind of area. And maybe for one-day events, a lot of the ladies down south probably don't see the benefit. They saw that 20, 30 girls were playing.
Yeah.
So
it would have to be a snowball effect, wouldn't it? Really, like that's kind of what you guys are looking for.
I'd love to see it happen, because that's that's why we started it, to be that mixed tour. And whether it's their own pot or a mixed pot, it's just nice to be on a golf course in tournament conditions with every good player, whether it's good lady or good mate, just good golfers across the board playing.
It's really tough, because I'm just thinking about it then, like if we're not in the position to do this, we could chance it this year and go, right, we're going to guarantee a prize fund for every event, and the ladies will be X amount for the winner, and it might work, it might drag them all in, and it might snowball. And with the guys, it might do exactly the same thing, it might double our entries. But if it doesn't, there won't be a tour to play next year for anybody. So we can't take that risk.
One and done.
So it really is either a snowball effect or a sponsorship to come and get involved in the tour, which obviously would be amazing. We've had some good sponsorship over the years, and it's difficult to come by on the mini tours. But yeah, I think it really is a snowball effect, but it'd be a quick snowball if it got going, because like you say, there isn't anything for the ladies, and even for the guys. Like, you've got the Clutch Tour now, which obviously it does a great job. It's a great platform to progress, and they do play for good money. Yes, it's expensive, but below the Clutch Tour, as it stands, there is only just, I think, potentially us going into next season, and there's a heck of a lot of
Tartan's doing a good job as well,
and with Clutch up there doing the same thing. But there's a heck of a lot of golfers, and there's a lot of gaps in diaries to fill, and hopefully we can keep it affordable. And
that's one thing we've both talked about this year. We've made a change. I don't know if we can say it, if you can edit stuff out if we've not released it, but we have lowered entry fees this year for our tour, lowered membership, just to try and get it more inclusive, more available to whoever. I think one of the great things about our tour, what we've been really lucky is because we are one day majority, we've got a few 2 days this year, but we've attracted, your Dan Browns, your John Parrys, your Joe Deans, your Sam Bastos.
Marco Penge, they all play.
We get these every, not week in, week out, obviously, but in the days before they were where they are, they were playing our tour every week. Our Order of Merit winners have been like, Joe Dean, Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Elite performance.
Little name drop. So there is obviously like a pathway then for these golfers. I think that was maybe one of the issues that was brought up was pathway to LET is important. Now that you're saying with the tour, obviously if enough people sign up, enough ladies sign up, there is that pathway opportunity to progress, or
I think it's almost like it's obvious that if we had, we sort of get, 50, 60 entries for them guys. If we got 60 or 80 entries from the ladies, I'm pretty sure that, your LET access would start to take note. I'm pretty sure that they'd see, whether it's hotel planner or LET, they want the best players playing, want the best players to play their tour. And if that comes through, 2020 and down the line, and they know they're going to access to the UK's best females, there will be at some point a pathway. That's just how it'll go.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you touched on it well as well. I attended the Clutch Pro at Manning's this year. It's first time going to that. And I met a few of the guys there, and I ended up having Giles Evans on the podcast from Clutch Pro, and he was so candid and honest with the fact of, like, I think he literally said my HM revenue and customs tax return was like £2,000 last year. He's like, I'm living above my parents' garage to try and make it.
He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a winner. He's a winner as well.
Exactly. Like, had a good season this year. I think he had a better season this year than he did the previous year. But he was sort of essentially saying, unfortunately, this is kind of the path you have to take if you want to make it in the game. Because he's like, if I get hotel planner status for next year, then that's a bit of a game changer for me. But I've got to compete at this level against ridiculously good pros, like across the board every week, and essentially top 12 make some money.
And I don't think, like, maybe people watching this, whatever level they play at, don't appreciate how good both the guys and girls are at this level of development golf. It's a tough school, and you're talking to someone else wherever he is on the screen who spent seasons in a camper van with his caddy, had to make it work. And at this level, I suppose you've got to make some sacrifices. But we've seen firsthand your people come through who've gone on to now play PGA Tour.
Yeah. Chris, do you want to speak to a little bit of that journey, like yourself? I was going
to say
Adam's alluded to it there.
Yeah, so Adam always tells the story of, I can't remember which year it was. It might have been the year Dan Brown won the Order of Merit, and Dan's mum came up to Adam at one of the events and was basically in tears.
I played a county match, and his brother, Dan's brother Ben, played in the same team as the Yorkshire team as I will do. Yeah, came up to me and thanked both me and Chris on behalf of what the tour's done for Dan. If it wasn't for the 2020, he wouldn't have been where he is. That's he was
going to stop playing, wasn't he? He was done, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's the reason what we do it for as well. It's stuff like that. It's brilliant. Yeah.
We do it. It's a good tour. It's got a good feel to it. A lot of good players, a lot of good people playing, and we talked about it briefly earlier, didn't we? And just, I guess, maybe blowing a little bit of smoke up ourselves here, but to have the match what we've got in April for the third season, last year have 10 current DP World Tour players come and play in that match was amazing. And then next year we've done it a little bit different. We have 6 current DP World Tour players playing, being John Parry, being Dan Brown, Joe Dean, Dan Bradbury, Sam Bairstow, Josh Berry, all playing, coming back to play. Co would have played if it wasn't for playing the Masters next year.
It's understandable, isn't it? I mean, you can let him off that one.
Just to come back and take a day out of their diary to come back to play a mini tour is outstanding, really. And I think our roster of players, we haven't brought them through, they've made their own way in the game, but they have come back and played an our tour and played multiple events, haven't they? It's amazing, really. It's class.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. Like, would you say that, Dan's probably the biggest success story of the 2020, would you say?
Probably played the most, hasn't he? Marco's obviously top 30 in the world now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Him and his wife Sophie played loads, didn't they, the first couple of seasons, and obviously won our Order of Merit, and then he's obviously got on his top 80 in the world now, into something, or top 70 or something, and doing very well out there, and quite a character.
Even like it's
Yeah, because Marco's from down my way. He's literally like used to play at a club which is like 10 miles down the road.
John Parry's an unbelievable story though, as well, isn't he? Because I used to play junior golf with John, and he was turning pro, went through Euro Pro Challenge Tour, DP, won, lost his card, went back to the start, 2020 Pro Tour, played all our tour for the year, went off, played Euro Pro, back on Challenge Tour, back on main tour, won again, and top 100 in the world, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
Amazing.
I won't touch on his whole story, but my biggest one's Joe Dean. What he's done and what he's had to come across, and what he's done to get back to where he is I think that's my favourite one out of them all, is Joe Dean's story.
I think we always use Joe as a bit of a poster boy example, really, how to play mini. He was put in 2019, maybe not 19. Sorry, 2 years ago, whatever that was, 2023 maybe. He won our Order of Merit, and I think Joe was probably, I would guess, only profitable mini tour player in the UK that year. So he worked for Morrison's. He drove all the time. He played Golfing Days Pro-Ams, which was obviously, he was way above that standard. So won loads. He dominated on our tour, won 5 or 6 events, won the Order of Merit. So he won about £8,000 on our tour, probably won 5,000 on Golfing Days, worked at Morrison's, didn't spend any expenses, all one-day events, went to Q School, 3 stages, got his tour card, and then won £1 million the year after. That doesn't happen. But that's the perfect way.
So is that kind of like the message that, you're trying to put out, obviously in the nicest way possible, is that the grind is part of this game? Like, every single player on, that's at the top echelons of the game has a story of how they, even whether that was at a younger age, their parents were able to travel them to events or pay for their events, and they've been able to pay it back, or where they've gone into their 20s, 30s, still trying to get out there, that maybe needs to be put across for more female involvement as well in that sense, because obviously you've got the Rose Ladies Tour, which is great, and the prize funds are really big, but it is only around for a few days essentially, right? It's not around for much of the year. It's then difficult to then sort of come back to a point where you're sort of grinding away for cash. And I guess, is that kind of one of the main messages you want to put across, that it's like, unfortunately, there's not a huge prize pot here. We'd love that to be the case, but then entry fees are going up, everything's going up. You kind of have to deal with it. Yeah,
it's not, but that prize pot could be big in time when numbers get bigger, more ladies play, more guys play, sponsors get involved. Everything's reliant on sponsorship, isn't it? Like all the big players as well. It's reliant on sponsorship or TV rights, but we're not quite there. And never say never. But
YouTube.
I was going to say, if you think about mini tour golfers, what stops? For example, like an hour tour, we probably lose 10 players every year, and then gain new young lads coming through. But why'd you lose them 10 players? Yeah, some obviously fall out of it, some struggle. It's money, isn't it? Like a lot of them. Like keeping your head above water, playing mini tour golf, or playing, let's say clutch or tartan, like development tour level, where you play multiple day events. I'm not saying you shouldn't play multiple day events. You need to learn how to play that sort of golf as well, because that's how you progress, isn't it? And you go on to, say, Challenge Tour and do Hotel Pana Tour and do that. But if you can't afford to play, you haven't got a chance to progress. So like the Joe Dean story, and yes, he's an unbelievable player, hugely talented, but I think it just shows, like, say, if we had, if 20 guys or 20 girls went, like you say, I'm going to play all of the 2020 Pro Tour next year because I can do a bit of work, I can still practice, I can keep my expenses down, I can keep my game sharp, I can play a few multi-day events as well. But if 20 extra players did that, like, that's touching $4,000 more in the prize fund or something, like.
Yeah.
It makes a massive, massive difference. And then these players would be able to live the dream, still try and progress, go to the Q schools at the end of the year. And it just, like you said, that if it is that snowball effect, isn't it? It'd be amazing it'd be beneficial for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those. I was wondering coming into this whether it was going to be like a chicken and egg situation, but it's pretty apparent. Like you just need signups. Like that has to be the first step. Without that, the sponsors aren't coming in. The prize money can't go up because the entries aren't going up. It's pretty much that's the point we're at, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, so
We could guarantee a prize fund, but it's just so risky.
Yeah, well, you'd be like you said, you'd be done next year. What good is that to anybody? It's not already, is it?
Something we're still striving for, and we'll continue to push it, and just hopefully get some support from going forward and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure to put everything in the links anyway about reaching out to you guys and everything like that. But I know you got the match coming up, and we got to touch on that because that sounds pretty amazing to have these guys that are the success stories of the 2020 Pro Tour coming back and playing. What exactly is the match, and what's the format? Where can people watch it and everything?
Go Adam,
I want to watch
this one.
Come on.
My baby. Yeah, well, I've fortunately been able to play for county for the past few years, and obviously ran the tour as well. So I've always pushed with the powers that be at Yorkshire to have a match where we could play what would be 2020 versus Yorkshire, and it was only on the basis that I think Yorkshire are sort of renowned as probably one of the best counties in England, I guess. And a lot of our players, your Dan Browns, all the players we mentioned, the Yorkshire base. So I thought, what a great opportunity to put this on. So anyway, a couple of years went by and they weren't interested, pushed it more and more, and they finally said, let's go for it, but we want to play it first year behind closed doors. I think they were scared that they wouldn't like to, maybe the result was going to be too one-sided. Anyway, really successful. Had it last year where we took it up a notch. We were in excess of 1,500 spectators. We play at Ganton Golf Club, so one of the best in the country. We had the weather for it, but it was such a spectacle of golf.
ShotScope is the tool that you don't have in your bag yet, and the one that you need. Whether you like wearing a watch on the course, whether you like using rangefinders, whether you just like having the tags on your clubs to know your distances, ShotScope gives you all of that. Before using ShotScope, I was unaware of the best parts of my game and the worst parts of my game, but using their watch and their rangefinder has enabled me to work out where I need to improve, using shots gained data to accurately see where I can improve, and I want that for you too. So if you use the code Birdie Golf Club on the ShotScope website, that will get you 15% off the entire range. So make sure to head to the checkout, put in whatever ShotScope product you want, enter code Birdie Golf Club, and you will get yourself 15% off. It helps support the podcast and can help improve your game.
Players did some clinics, didn't they? They had 4 clinics from the DP players.
Yeah. It was,
Nice.
What a day, It was all available, and so you'll be able to go back onto our socials and look at highlights. Next year, like Chris alluded to, we've swapped it up a bit, so the result was getting a bit one-sided. So we decided to play 6 DP Tour, PGA Tour players, along with 6 influencer celebs. But their influencer celebs are all fantastic players in the right. So we've got, so far confirmed, I hope they commit to it still, but we've got Peter Finch, Dan Walker, Ray Niven, Gaz Beadle, Alex Elliott, and then Simon Dyson's probably the multiple winner. The standard's still going to be unbelievable, but hopefully attract a different crowd. Everyone watching, more than welcome. It on Friday, the 10th of April at Ganton Golf Club. There'll be driving range clinics. We'll have like a bit of almost like a spectator village where a lot of our partners will be there. Trackman will be there, Appear on Clothing will be there, Camp Golf will be, there will be loads there. So, and it's all in aid of charity as well. It's all in aid of the Yorkshire Air Ambulance.
Yeah,
we don't take anything from the day. It's all going towards a good cause. But yes, if we get the weather, you should come along.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, how far I've got to put that in Google Maps now.
It's a long drive.
See my way up there. Yeah. It's a decent drive, but it sounds
definitely worth it.
Awesome. Yeah.
But it'd be good. Like we had a few other YouTube people or social media people who were there interviewing players. So you're more welcome to come up and you could host it with us and interview some players and do stuff for your podcast. No worries.
Yeah, I'd love that, guys. I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity. I mean, one for me now, and that's a fantastic opportunity for me, but also for everyone attending to see players like up close and personal. That, let's face it, you go to events now and they're so busy Like you go to some events so busy, which obviously you're hoping is going to be as busy as, but you know, realistically, probably going to be a little bit less people than what there would be at like a DP World Tour event or whatever it may be, and people are going to be able to see. Two sides are going to be able to see the influencer side of things, which is obviously huge in the game now, with the likes of your Peter Finch, your Gaz Beadles, stuff like that. But also getting to see these incredible golfers as well, and probably in like a pretty relaxed setting as well. I mean, it's going to be competitive. But
it's super competitive. Don't get me wrong, but you know the players are aware, especially from the 2020 side, that it's a bit of an exhibition, and they're super interactive with the players.
Yeah.
And we've done it specifically. It's Masters Week. It's in the school holidays. Loads of juniors, loads of kids. So if there's any parents, bring your kids along. Like we're giving loads of like prizes away. Pros get them involved in the clinics. It is just a great spectacle of golf, especially Yorkshire golf.
Yeah.
Thank you to Yorkshire for continuing it. Thank you to Ganton for hosting it again. And we're really happy with it.
We had a junior having a long drive comp against Marco Penge. We had a junior doing a shot shaping challenge with Sam Bairstow. We had a little kid doing a bunker challenge with John Parry. And they're all winning prizes, weren't they? Marcus Armitage did a putting comp with someone as a couple of juniors. Yeah, super relaxing. It's cool. It's quite mad how the tour launched in 2020, that this is something what's happening. I think we're all for definitely giving back to the game, and like we spoke about before, we've got 5 girls between us. We do want that side of the golf to be a success. Let's say we're open to still trying to create that platform, but they need to know that it can't just be one-sided, and we do need that bit of support. So just put a bit of trust in us that if they do stick to it, then it could grow massively.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great, and there's obviously scope as well with that event. If there was enough ladies being involved generally in the 2020, there's scope in that event, right? Surely to include ladies into it.
We've looked at it and we've been in touch with a couple of we know, but you know, one now lives in Florida, one's unable, and also we're not quite sure on the LET schedule for next year. Obviously, the Masters it wipes out a lot of the players. That's why we probably get the talent we do. But if there's a free week on the schedule when it's released, then we'll definitely have matches, because we spoke about that with Yorkshire anyway. So
I actually do think it's quite disappointing of Marco. I think it's quite disappointing of Marco not to.
We did give him the options,
not to turn down the Masters.
I mean, Dan. If Dan has a good start to the season, he might be playing the Masters, so he might lose him. But, you know,
that must be tricky, right? Because you're like, I want you to do well, but you did commit to the the match.
I've got messages to prove it. So
keep receipts. You'll be on the flight over to Augusta. You're like, sorry, mate. You're turning back around again. It's no good. But I appreciate you guys coming on and saying from that side of things. I think we've covered it pretty well with what kind of the barriers are potentially, essentially being kind of the money. I mean, you know, if we're talking plainly, the money side of things is probably one of the things that comes to mind with when ladies might want to enter the events. It comes to mind of the guys that enter the events as well.
Same for both, yeah.
You know,
there's always more guys around to start with, isn't there, who are playing? So you do.
It's a smaller pool of players essentially you're starting with, and then percentage wise, it's obviously gonna be less no matter what. But I think you started around the COVID period, like just after it. What were the challenges you guys faced like with that? Because I can't even imagine. Like I run a small window cleaning business other than this.
It worked
all right?
Incredible for us, isn't it? So we launched just before COVID, did 2 events, maybe 60 players in each one, max, had COVID, and then we were the first tour probably in the world to just go for it again. Not really sure what the rules probably were back then, but we went for it. And I think Clecky, and we had 130 players. We had past Ryder Cuppers. We had 8 ladies playing that day who were still current LET players. Amy Bolden, Carly Boo, Megan McLaren. I think the next 3 events we had like 100 plus players. And then Europro kicked off again. The development tours kicked off again. And then it slowly kind of, obviously, people went back to the higher ranking events. But yeah, COVID was pretty good for us, really, wasn't it?
Well, there was only one event at Howley Hall. I don't know if Chris will remember this, but we used to take it in turn to play events. So Chris was out on the course, and we had volunteer. So the rule was you had to have like one person per pin. So we had like a volunteer taking the pin because you couldn't put anything. I remember it was absolutely hammering it down. I'm sat behind the desk with everyone's cards. and all the volunteers have just come in. So I'm out there, I'm trying to fill everyone's cards. I'm running out to like the ninth hole to take the pin out for someone and squeegee the green on the 18th. I'm like, tough times. It's a real minute all.
It was crazy, weren't it, all that?
I don't think you could
It
go
was
inside
crazy.
the bats either, so you're marking cards under a canopy outside in the rain.
Yeah. Good days.
You remember when it was just like you could just smack it against the pin and it would count because the ball weren't allowed to go in the hole. It's just insane. Some handicaps really came down in that period of time, didn't they? It was ridiculous.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a proper springboard for the tour at that time, like having all those players come back because they're all like gagging to play golf essentially at that point, right? Because it had so much time off.
It only put the tour on the map at the time, didn't it? Which was cool.
Yeah, we did.
Did you play those events, Chris, as well? Like those early events?
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I think the first few there was a lot to do, and then once we got the hang of how the events were running, and we've got a couple of amazing volunteers. My mum's always done the check-in desk, and a guy called John Major. He's been the starter for probably 95% of our events for the last 6 years. So we've got them two who would be lost without them, wouldn't they? They'd turn up every week, help us out. So once we got into the flow of it, we do try to play. We still enjoy playing and competing. So we tend to one go out early, one go out late or something. Make sure we're around before and after to do bits still.
Good excuse to play around the golf when you've got kids, though, isn't it?
The struggle is real, right? I mean, that's basically on this podcast. I've spent like 90% of the time just saying I didn't play golf this week, so I hope you all did. That's pretty much it.
For me, it's no golf for me, just indoor golf for me at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, I got a local place where I can try and get better this winter because I know I need it. I need it bad.
The weather's not looking good, is it? So
fortunate, I'm down on the south coast, so there's a local course, Seaford Head, that just plays well all year round. Drain's amazing. Greenkeeper's do an incredible job. Like, what's your favourite place to go to on the tour? Like, what's the best venue? I know that might be throwing a few venues under the bus, but let's focus on the positives.
Dubai was pretty cool. We used to the first maybe year 2, 3, 4. We did a 3-day and a 5-day trip to the west coast of Scotland.
Nice.
Glasgow Gales, Western Gales, Dundonald, Kilmarnock Barassi, Trump, one of the Trump Turnberry courses, and we just did like a pro-am, 1 pro, 3 ams, and that was always class, wasn't it? Lost him, I think. Yeah, that was cool. We've got some really good courses in Yorkshire who we have good relationships with, and we go back and they winter well and stuff. We'd love to go further afield. We've tried some down south and they just didn't get the field. So we ended up obviously kind of sometimes coming back to Yorkshire we've got a group of players who kind of within an hour's drive and it works. But I think next season's schedule, it might be released in December, maybe early Jan. But I think we're going to 7 counties next year. So we're down to Lincoln, across to Cheshire, up to Durham and Cumbria. So we've got a decent cover of the north this year, which is, again, we're trying to go back a bit further afield. So again, hopefully that works, or who knows.
Well, I suppose it's still like year 5, right? I mean,
yeah, 6.
People talk of 2026. And I'm still stuck in 25. So people talk of like teething issues with doing any kind of new business, any new venture. Teething issues are there. What was the biggest hurdle to like overcome? Apart from the ladies' sort of side of things, which obviously has had its peaks and then its lower times. Other than that, what was like your biggest hurdle to overcome of like, this is what we need to do to start it?
To start the tour?
Yeah, like start or something you found along the way that was just like, you couldn't write it. We completely didn't realise about that side of things or anything like that. I suppose you're pretty experienced in the game.
Stripe fees.
Yes. Yeah.
Stripe fees, yeah.
Getting credit card fees, yeah.
That's what we didn't understand. I think it's been. It's felt pretty good. Like it's ran really well. I think Chris handles, to be fair, all the social media and the computers. So I find that really easy. But no, it's
nice.
I feel like it's sort of running like clockwork. When we set about a schedule, it's done relatively soon. We've built up a relationship with golf courses over the years where it's a direct conversation. They agree it straight away. I think, it seems to be all right. I wouldn't say there's any massive hurdles, in my opinion.
I think in the early days, obviously, it was very new, and golf courses just saw us as, say, a visiting party, or, do you know what I mean? It's just a visiting party, so you just a green
Society
fee.
day, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so you're just bringing 40 guests, it should be X amount. But I think as it's grown in credibility and they've seen the players come through, and when we've been to some courses where members have really got behind it and supported it, all of a sudden they think, you know what, this is actually quite a nice little marketing thing for our golf club here. Like, we're going to get 30, 40 the best players in the area. We're going to get a handful of really good players. Like, we can make a real good show of this for our golf club, and the social media will be on the map, and the photography we can get of players playing our course, and there's probably going to be a course record. I'll give you a good example. One golf course, they've had 2 different pros, but they've both been very proactive. So in the day at Low Laves, a friend of mine, Adrian Ambler, is one of the pros, and now Glasgow Sean's there now, and they've both been really good. They've got one of the members behind it. He's put a couple of grand in the prize pot. They've gone out and actively sold sponsorship on holes, so the prize fund was $3,000 extra in the pot. Again at Northcliffe we did it in Bradford. Hazard Golf got behind it and title sponsored the event. The golf club got £100 from every hole sponsored, and again I think it was $3,000 again, wasn't it, first prize, and all of a sudden we had 60 players playing. Getting them proactive golf clubs are quite difficult to find, but when you get them, they're fantastic for helping grow the tour and obviously providing a bigger prize fund for the players.
Fun enough, they're our biggest events. I think we attract the most people.
Oh. Yeah, as there's one thing I was shocked by, to be honest. Look, I've done quite a bit of work with Mallins Heath, and I think it's a fantastic club. I was shocked at the lack of attendance for the Clutch Pro Tour event when I was there, because I was looking at it and I was literally just walking around in between holes with really top level players. I think someone finished up winning on at one point one guy was 18 under through 3 days. I mean, that's not an easy golf course, and making it look unbelievably easy. And I'm sure it's the same story on the 2020 Pro Tour, but I was shocked at the lack of attendance. And then I sort of thought, this is a huge, like you've said, a huge marketing opportunity for that club of imagine the drink sales if you got a full terrace full of people. You put up some little stands, I don't know, stuff like that you could do, little leaderboard, all these things add to an event. Obviously you've got Genius now as a decent way of keeping up with scores. I don't know if you have a similar issue to what Clutch seem to have for attendances, difficult to kind of keep up with score as the round goes. Is that sort of a general thing across mini tours, that's kind of a difficult thing to keep up with?
With live scoring?
Yeah, the live scoring side, just for attendees. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying. I know.
Yeah, they just have to use it on their apps, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, going back to having people watching, at those 2 events we had at Northcliffe, the last holes were par 3, and we had we did it where the top, say, I think it was maybe the top
16.
Yeah, so maybe top 14 pros qualified and the top 2. So we have a tour experience category as well, where handicapped golfers can play just to experience being involved. And the top 2 handicapped golfers. Then we had the nearest to pin shootout. So the leading pro played the tour experience guy. Second place played 15th place, and they had a head-to-head shootout. It's unbelievable. The winner won £500 or something. So you had 20 handicapper playing, for example, Marco Penge in a 7-iron shootout onto an island green. One of the members put his BMW car up for a hole-in-one. They just got so behind it. And we did it also at Low Laves. The sponsor was a guy, was it a plant hire company? I want to take Gary Hurst Plant Hire. And he had these trucks around the back of the green, parked up on the green, and we did a beat the head-to-head shootout for a £500 thing, and all the members are on the balcony and cheering, and
that's awesome.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to say, back in the day, we did have the events live streamed, so you could probably go back and watch that. Them things. You'd be able to do that.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys, you want to create this is a sustainable tour, but also kind of want to keep the elements of golf that keep us all coming back, right? The idea of the fact that you can experience what it's like to play against the top level player, and it be somewhat of a level playing field, the fun elements to it, crowd involvement. That's kind of seems to be the basis of the tour, this amalgamation of levels of golf, but also finding the best golfer in the north as well, across England if they come and play.
I think one thing I've certainly noticed over the past 2 or 3 years, we get a lot of the elite amateurs that play. And I think what's really good about your one-day shootout, your one-day events, is that sort of anybody can win within reason.
Yeah.
Like we have had amateurs beat. When you have got your, I'm not going to name drop them all again, but you've got all these players playing. You do get amateurs beating them, and I think that's what's quite cool with what we do as well. Gives everyone a chance. So 18-holes, it almost develops. If you don't shoot 6, 7 under, you're not winning. It's almost like, just thinking out loud off the top of my head, is you're developing an aggressive style of golf to make a load of birdies. Hopefully that's not a bad thing as well.
Going back to that, you said about the elite amateurs there. So I was aware of this one, but Wakefield last year we had an event, and one of their scratch team players played. I think he was off +2. Andrew Stringer, wasn't it? He spoke to us after on a message, and he had Marcus Armitage in the group in front. I think playing with you, maybe, Marcus, yeah. He had Marcus Armitage in the group in front, and he had Andrew Wilson in the group behind. And I think he beat them both. I think he shot 3 or 4 under or something, and he won £700 or something. And I think he was more bothered about beating these DP World Tour players than taking home a check. Like, I think he was just like, the opportunity to play against these guys. You don't get that, do you? You can't go and play football with Ronaldo, can you? Somewhere.
I think the only other event where you can get the amateurs mixing with the best is kind of like at open qualifying. Like if you get to final stage, you play with that calibre of player, and super hard to get into, and you can just enter hours straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get it. It's good.
I know you mentioned about entry fee as well. So can you say like what some of the entry fees might be, so people sort of know what it's going to be like for next year?
Yeah, it's online now. Yeah, people have started joining the tour for next year, so it's £100 to join the tour. You don't have to join the tour. One-day events are going to be £150, and if you're not a member, there's a £30 membership fee for each event, so £180. 2-day events, depending on the courses, are between £250 and £300. And then again, a £30 fee if you're not a member. So if you're going to play multiple events, you would join. Plus, there's a few order merit incentives. So we're going to have 4 swings of, say, 5 events in each swing this year. And the winner of each swing will get a £1,000 bonus. And then the winner of the overall order merit for the year again, well, I think the winner will get a TrackMan for the year after to use, plus a few other bits and pieces. So it's... I'd like to think there's still some real good value for players playing, again, for a pretty low expense relative to all the other options, really.
It's the lowest one I've heard cost-wise when it comes to like playing.
Yeah, which obviously...
I
mean, we could say there's a £10,000 prize fund, but you'd be paying £400 entry fee.
Yeah.
Players know that it's £150. The more that play, the more we pay.
Yeah.
It's the only way it can really work.
No, exactly. And what? Sorry if you've already answered this, but what is the current status of the women's side of things at the moment for next year? Is that going to be back to being a mixed thing, or is it going to be a separate field? What's the idea at the moment? I'm guessing.
Yeah, we touched base on this earlier in the podcast, but I think what we'd leave it as it's open. It's open for a debate. I guess it's if anyone watching has any, even we're open to ideas. We feel like we've tried a lot. If again, like Chris, if there's a group of ladies, whether elite amateurs or pros, who feel like they want the opportunity, get in touch. I'm sure you'll post our details below. We're always open for a chat, a phone call. The floor's open. Yeah, we want to make it work. We want it to do well, obviously for us, but also for the ladies' game.
Yeah,
so there is a schedule there to go out ready. We're just waiting for one golf course to confirm the date, and then we're good to go with it for next year's. For the guys and the girls, there's an 18 event schedule around the north of England to compete, and even if there's 10 to 15 ladies playing for their own money there, that's a pretty good opportunity for it to grow there. So
yeah.
It can be done.
And like you said, I mean, I was aware coming into this, the optics of 3 guys getting together talking about how to make the women's game sort of work and stuff could maybe optically could put some people off. But obviously, like you guys have said, you guys are invested in this as well, not alone from the fact that you enjoy watching the ladies' game do well on the 2020 Pro Tour, obviously, but you've got girls, you've got your daughters. I've got my daughter. Like I'm aware of that similar idea that tend to fall out of the game of golf because there isn't as much opportunity or on that side of things. Having events like this is that opportunity. It may not be the, all single dancing hope, what they're looking for potentially from it, the money side of things and everything like that. But it's a competition to enter, to improve as golfers, and that's around all year for them as well, which is kind of exactly what's being looked at.
My take on it again is whether you're a male or a female at this mini tour level of golfer, really difficult to make money. Even if you're one of the best, it's really difficult. But if you do want to make it, and the Q schools are obviously an open door to get through, you obviously got to play really, really well. You just have to be active through the year and be competitive wherever you're playing. So, for me, like you said, the Joe Dean story, we're very biased towards Joe Dean's story, but that is the dream. You can still work, you can still be competitive. You can go to Q school, you can get your card, and I think if a lot of people had that in the mind, then I think it'd be a better place for everyone.
Yeah, no, I think you're actually, for me, touching, obviously we've all got girls, my dreams for them to kind of grow up in a world where these conversations aren't happening anymore. And you just got the best golfers, period, whether male or female, just all in one sort of area. I think that's where I'd like the game of golf to be, whether it's us or whether other tours do it. I think if we feel like we've been a part of that, then I think we've done something right.
Well, I think we covered it. We covered it all pretty well, guys. Thank you, Adam, to reaching out to me about it. My immediate message to you was like, look, I am pretty clueless. I'm just a guy talking into a microphone and sort of, working out these things as I go along, as I learn about on this podcast. And I think it comes from a place of, obviously Hannah's got the side of things with her viewpoints as well on what she would like to see in the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, of wanting to see certain things happen. But then obviously you've got your both side of things, which is like, we're trying to run a sustainable tour that is able to offer regular golf to the professional golfing community on both sides of things. And this is what is to offer. This is what's here. And then it's just a case of how does everyone meet in the middle? And hopefully there's enough sort of awareness that goes on where that side of things can just be boosted, because that would be huge for you guys, and obviously it'd be huge for the professional community across England, right? When it comes to golf, that's what everyone wants.
I think all we're asking for is that, just like Chris said, that trust and support from the ladies to kind of understand that there is a platform out there, and it can be played. And if pushed, if everyone can combine together and push and use your people like Hannah, who've got huge support for her channel, that if everything was pushed in a positive right direction, it would only be beneficial to everyone. And I wish that was kind of like, if there was one message that I want to get across this podcast was, and it's not just leave the men out of it, kind of they're sorted, they've got their pathways, is that we're there trying to push it for the ladies, for both, we've got our own drivers in having girls ourselves, but also the tour, and also wanting to see the best golfers compete with each other, whether they're male or female or anything, just best golfers go and win.
Sounds good to me. Listen, guys, I think it's been great to have you on. It's great to learn more about the tour as well. Obviously, I'm quite away from it, so it was awesome to learn about what the 2020 is doing, the success that you guys are having. Love to connect and sort out coming up and seeing the match and being part and helping in any way that I can with that would be awesome. So yeah, I just wish you all the success, and thanks, Adam, for getting in touch.
No, thank you.
Made it all happen, really.
Thank you.
You didn't do anything, Chris. Sorry, Chris, you didn't do anything. I mean, it is what it is,
No, well, thank you for your time. It's nice to kind of like voice our opinions, I guess. And I said you're welcome to come to Ganton, bring a gazebo and have an interview tent for all week. You go and do it.
Yeah, be good.
Perfect. That sounds good
Awesome.
to me. I've actually got one last question I've got to ask you, which is part of I've got a new thing that I want to do every week of collecting bucket list golf courses. So quick thing from both of you. Let's go. Chris looks like he needs a minute. Adam looks like he's way more confident on what it's going to be. It has to be a golf course you've played. It can be anywhere in the world, but a golf course that you played. Let's go, Adam first. I'll give Chris a second.
I've got mine. I'll go first. You think? I always go Paris National, my favourite, as a golf course.
Okay.
Because I always say it's a super rewarding golf course. If you play crap, you're gonna really struggle. But if you play well, it's still scoreable.
Right, I'm writing that one down. Paris National. Lovely. Right. Over to you, Adam.
Longley Park?
Oh, definitely 100%. No, I would say I've always gone abroad, but I'm going to say Sunningdale Old.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Okay,
Thank
good
you.
shout.
it's got a little soft
Can't
spot in
go
our
wrong.
hearts, that one too. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's, and the reason why I like it is because it's so picturesque, but it's also fairly short enough to be playable as well. It doesn't feel like it's an absolute slog.
Yes.
It's just a lovely place to go and play. And if I lived down there and I had a bucket full of cash, I'd probably join there.
If they'd let
No,
you
they
in.
wouldn't let me.
I've reached out to Sunningdale and they're like, yeah, we don't do media. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well,
So if anyone wants to play a bit of Sunningdale foursomes, just
Ask me.
thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it, and thanks for coming on the
perfect.
podcast.
Cheers, thank you.
How's you, mate?
Cheers.
Nice to meet you, Dave. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Cheers, Adam.